Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Secretary, I think you know that at these hearings I usually take my time to ask questions, but this morning I'm probably going to be talking more than asking questions because, quite honestly, I've got a lot to say, and I think you know it's not good feelings. Right now, the state of Alaska is looking at what is coming out of the Department of Interior, and they're not seeing a single thing that Alaskans are asking of Interior that is actually advancing. It seems like every single decision coming out of the department is working against Alaskans. You know, it was a pretty tough week, just a couple weeks ago now. In one day, the department closes off 13 million acres of our petroleum reserve. In the same day, you rejected the Ambler Access project. And the heartburn here, I mean, it's not more than heartburn. The danger here is this is a project that is literally guaranteed by federal law. And you basically have rejected that and closed that off. You released a major land plan where it took Interior 10 full years to fail to meet the direction of a law that I wrote 20 years ago. It was to lift the PLO, public land orders in Alaska. But it took no time at all to close off millions more acres in the state of Alaska. And again, the kicker on all of this is you did it all on the same day, one day. We have actually come to dread Fridays in Alaska because that's when we see the stuff coming out of Washington, D.C. that is burying Alaska and our economy. These decisions are now piled on top of dozens of others, from your conservation rule to the cancellation of the leases in the 1002 area to the looming kneecapping of the oil and gas program in the area that you're mandated to carry out. You know, when there's a lot of history in Alaska, you know much of it, but when signing ANILCA, President Carter promised the deal was 100% of Alaska's offshore and 95% of our onshore would be open to responsible development. President Biden voted for that law. He voted for ANILCA, but his administration, led by your department, has broken its promises to Alaskans again and again and again. And we've kept our side of the bargain here. We've been working to do this, just that. Our environmental record is second to none. We'll put it up against anyone out there. But now it's effectively being held against us because Interior's decisions are punishing us for decades of responsible development. And ironically, it undermines the president's own policies. He's talking about all that he wants to do to advance the renewables and EVs. Well, they all require critical minerals. Well, where are we going to get the critical minerals? We have opportunities in Alaska, and a road to those minerals could have been, hopefully one day will be, a way that we're accessing that. But in addition to all of this, you're setting a precedent for future administrations to ignore the law. We pass things in Congress, we put the laws in place, and the administration does whatever they please. And it's doing nothing to protect the environment because we know that our projects are going to have small footprints. We put in place the strongest safeguards in the world here. You've heard it before, but the headline is true. This administration is sanctioning Alaska. We're sanctioning Alaska while we're boosting foreign resources. And you don't pay attention. You overlook the pollution, the human rights abuses, the regimes that it enables from Russia and Iran. And in the meantime, you've got a president that seems to think that Willow is enough to sustain an entire state. The administration here has effectively reduced Alaska to nothing more than a debit card to pay off national environmental groups in an election year. And I know that that's tough. I know that that's tough, but we can't look at it any other way. There is no valid reason. There is no good excuse for Interior's decisions. The department needs to follow the law. They need to follow the law. They need to consult with all Alaska Natives, and frankly, I think clean house at the BLM. I want you to give this some thought because we're going to have an opportunity next week at Interior Appropriations for me to ask more questions, to ask questions. But I want you to think about this. What justifies this? What justifies this singling out of one state alone, to treat Alaska in this way and in this manner, where you are effectively not only locking up the resources, you are going against our statehood compact, you're going against the laws that we have passed, and against policies that seemingly, as an administration, you should support. It seems like we're the giving tree, with more and more being taken from us every year, but we don't know that there is that much more to give. So again, I'll look forward to the opportunity in the Interior Committee or the subcommittee to ask these questions. You probably won't be looking forward to it as much as I will, but I think Alaskans deserve some answers.
Senator